All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
Everyone, welcome to the SHIPIT Nation PGA Round 4 Showdown Show for the COGNIZANT CLASSIC, formerly known as the Honda Classic. We're going to be breaking down the Round 4 slate here, kind of go through. There's like 3 or 4 holes left for the leaders. We'll kind of go through and talk some if-then scenarios, look at the pricing for Round 4 and see what sort of advantages or edges that we can find heading into Round 4. Have some pretty decent sweats myself in terms of the classic slate. So hopefully we can get to the finish line and keep this little heater going. If you're not a member, please head on over shipitnation.com. Get yourself access PGA only content, all access content. We have a bunch of different pricing plans. So head on over to shipitnation.com. If you could do us a favor, hit the like, subscribe on this video, helps us out a ton in growing the channel. So appreciate all the support so far. As I said, there's basically maybe 3, 4, 5 holes left for a lot of these guys. I am screen sharing with DraftKings. The pricing is obviously out. Have it sorted here by the score. So we'll kind of talk through some of these guys and see if we can find some sleepers heading into tomorrow. Obviously, position points are in play here for Round 4, which is different than Round 1, 2, 3, 4. So the guys at the top of the leaderboard already start with essentially winning. But again, if they go backwards, you kind of start to lose points pretty quick. So at the top of the board as of now, we have Austin Eckroat. He's sitting at 12 under. Lowry, Skins, both at 11. And then as we kind of come down here, you can see Minwoo Lee, Kevin Yu, Perez. So, I mean, it's a lot of unknown guys, really. You got Lowry up top, and then, Rory's kind of lurking a little bit. Cam Young's lurking a little bit, both currently sitting at 9 under with a few holes to play. So in regards to tomorrow for Round 4, if Eckroat is still in the lead, which he has a lot of holes left, actually. If he's still up there, I'd be fine, not being on him. I have him on the main slate. But for Round 4, I'd probably take a around the field or an underweight approach on a guy like Eckroat, because you do have guys lurking like Shane Lowry, who I think is a really good play. Rory, Cam Young, Henley had a big round today to get himself into the conversation. So some of these unknown guys, I don't have a ton of interest in being on them tomorrow. But, Eckroat at 8,300 is going to get a lot of ownership regardless of where he kind of finishes here. Shane Lowry, I like a lot going into tomorrow. He always plays well at this course. I believe he lives on the course or in the area. I think Lowry would be fine. And then you look at a guy like Skins, David Skins here at 6,500. He's going to be pretty darn popular because he's only 6,500. He makes a lot work. You plug him in, you have 8,700. You could, hypothetically load up on these guys up here. Boom, boom. You got Lowry, you got Eckroat, you got Skins. A lot of people will start with teams like that. So you need to be thinking of other ways to go when you start playing these guys up top. If you are going to a guy like Skins, maybe you come down to look for a high upside dude, a little bit lower. I don't know. Maybe you play Matthew Fitzpatrick at 10K, who probably does not get much ownership. If someone's going to spend on this slate, I'm going to sort it by salary now. If they're going to spend, they're going to go to Rory. They're going to go to Cam Young. They're not going to go to Matthew Fitzpatrick. So I think he's a really interesting play going into tomorrow. Shane Lowry, I do like. Minwoo Lee, I like a lot at 9,100. Was on him in a big way on the main slate. And I have no problem just going right back to him. He had a big round today. He shot 5 under. I think he can keep that momentum going into tomorrow as well. He's sitting at 9,100. Coming down the board a little bit, we got Kevin Yu, 7,500. Victor Perez, 7K. Bridgman, 6,500. Some interest in those guys for sure. I'd probably assuming this is kind of how it finishes up, I'd rather play these dudes down here, like the Perez's and Bridgmans, over a guy like Skins, only one shot back. And you have to imagine if Skins stays there, he's going to get like way more ownership. So you gotta see, like, the cheapest guy at the top of the board. I always kind of look for pivot. So if it is Skins, like, we have a lot of guys below him that we can play in terms of pricing. I think the big conversation on the slate is going to be like Rory and Cam Young, who, as it stands right now with a few holes to go, they're 3 back. Can they make that charge to the top? I mean, in this field, I think they definitely can. So I'm interested in both those guys going into tomorrow. Being 3 back, does that keep their ownership in check? Probably not. They're going to be owned just because it's going to be easy to play them. I mean, the price tags of these guys at the top are low, so it's going to be easy if you wanted, which will be a popular build if Eckroat stays at the top at 83, to pair him with a Rory McIlroy, and then you play, like, this would be a popular build. Eckroat, Rory, Skins. Like, you definitely want to look elsewhere. And it's easy if you are on Eckroat and Rory, like, just come down the board and play a cheap dude. Play I don't know, David Lipsky at 6K, that sort of thing. You're immediately, give yourself a chance to be like a little bit different. Definitely in that, these guys right here in this range, like Minwoo Lee, I do like quite a bit for coming down a little bit. Henley had a nice round today. The course fits him well. He is 6 under. Can he keep that momentum going into tomorrow? 9,500. I think he has a chance to go, not overlooked, but a little overlooked. You got Shane Lowry above him, Minwoo Lee. And then I think a lot of people go to Rory and Cam Young. So, like, Henley's a guy that kind of stands out to me down here at 9,500, sitting at 8 under. Martin Laird, like, I'm going to pass on Laird. Like, I don't even care. Like, he's one of those guys I just don't play. Like, there's certain guys I just have zero interest in playing. He is one of them. If you guys do have questions along the way, feel free to pop them in there. Obviously doing solo here. What did Party Marty getting in yeah, I just talked about Marty. Like, I'm passing on Party Marty. I'm never on him though. So, but if you're someone that tends to play Party Marty, feel free to get in there. Bill, I'm playing one guy up top with 5 that go off early, 2 to 3 more birdies. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely do that. Actually, let me pull up the weather here and kind of see what it says for tomorrow. Maybe there is an advantage getting these guys that go off early, because those will be some of the lower owned guys, the early guys. Saturdays. Yeah, so there is that is very viable, because again, we've seen this for the first 3 rounds essentially, where it's lighter winds in the morning and then it kind of picks up in the afternoon. So you'd come down to the bottom of the board and start playing some of these other dudes. It's like S.E. Kim, Mark Hubbard down there at 77. I think it's very viable. You have a lot of options. A lot of guys are going to be going off early. Shank, McIntyre, Fox, Connors, all those dudes down there, very viable plays. Chris Kirk, he had a bad round today, so he's all the way down there. Those are guys that are going to be going off early. And then, yeah, maybe you do play. I don't mind the strategy at all that Bill's kind of talking about, playing someone at the top of the board and then a bunch of chasers that are going off early that have nothing to lose. Like, they'll be firing at pins all day. Don't hate that at all in some teams. And he followed it up with like going 2-4. Yeah, two guys up top, 4 guys going off early. Don't hate that at all. Is Jimmy Stanger viable? Where is our boy Stanger on the board? What has he been up to? 6? Hell yeah, he's viable. 6,200. That's our boy. Tambo made fun of me about Stanger, and look at him. But I will say, Tambo's boy Cootie. Oh, they're right there. -6. I need Stanger to finish above Cootie so I can rub it in Tambo's face next show that we're on. I'm going to continue on here down this board. Viable guys that I'll be looking at for tomorrow. For me, like, no thanks on Ricky Fowler. Like, man, I just can't do that. Higo's on my best team for the main. I probably won't have much of him, to be honest with you. I will stay on my boy Pavon. Did he just do something terrible? He was at the top. What the hell did Pavon do? Oh, a bogey and then a double? Oh, that's disappointing. But I will go back to him just because I like him. Jake Knapp. So different strategies, obviously, for round 4 with the position points. We know what's going to happen. Ownership always goes to these guys at the top. I just want to get an update here on the board. Yeah, it really hasn't moved all that much. Victor Perez has moved up to 11 under. And then Rory, Cam Young are sitting at 9. Yeah. Ownership always goes to these guys at the top of the board. So it's pretty easy to go ahead and get different. Where'd my lineup go? Bring it back. All right, there we go. Boom. These are just random dudes. That's a good point on Pavon. Yeah, now his ass will go off a little bit earlier. Maybe less of the wins, but that's a disappointing finish for him because he was all the way kind of towards the top. Heading down a little bit. Like, let's kind of talking these guys that are in this like 7 under-ish range. Cootie, like we talked about, I think he's in play. Matthew Fitzpatrick, I think Fitzpatrick and Tom Kim, 2 spends that'll go overlooked tomorrow. Could potentially go low. Good course fits for both of them. These are guys that I'm definitely targeting tomorrow in Showdown. Fitzpatrick, Tom Kim, I think both great plays based on where they're at and their price tags. Definitely guys that I want some exposure to. Mav McNeely, want some exposure to him. My guy Stanger, Carson Young, Bramlett. When you get down here, you want guys that can make birdies. Benny on 9,400, another guy you can throw into that Tom Kim, Matthew Fitzpatrick range. And then we talked about all these guys going off early. So Hubbard in on him, Shank, McIntyre, Fox, Connors, Hostler, Kirk. Those are the guys that I really like down low. And yeah, I mean, if we think you're still going to most likely need the guy that wins this event. So I do like that strategy that Bill laid out where maybe you're playing 1 or 2 guys up top that you think can finish 1 and 2. And then some of these guys that you just need them to make birdies, Hubbard, Shank, McIntyre, Fox, Connors, Hostler, Kirk, all guys that I have interest in for round 4. Now let's sort by salary and have that conversation. We already talked about these guys. I think Rory, Cam Young, they're the highest priced guys in the best position in terms of score. They'll get the ownership. Definitely want to be on them. Fitzpatrick, Kim, Henley, Benny on. All guys that I have interest in. Poston, I'll probably pass on. Not a guy typically targeting Showdown. I like him on the main slates. Lowry, Minwoo Lee, we talked about. Chris Kirk, I think, in play on those teams where you get a lot of guys that go off early. You're playing 4 guys that kind of have the earlier type tee times. Pavon, Keith Mitchell can score. Hostler, Eckroat, maybe an underweight stance on him with those guys chasing. Corey Connors, Van Rooyen, don't necessarily love all that much. He yeah, see you later, buddy. And then you can kind of keep coming down the board and find some guys. But I don't mind that strategy at all, where we take 1 or 2 guys that go off that are kind of at the top of the board, and then maybe a bunch of guys that are kind of going early. Round 4 is always a little bit different of a strategy because of those finishing positions. But the one thing that does work out well for round 4 is where the ownership is going, and it's the guys at the top of the board. So you can kind of make pivots. If you load up on a lot of these guys at the top, if you do a Eckroat, Lowry, we'll throw in like Minwoo and Skins type team. You still have 8,500 left. This is going to be a very common build. Assuming the leaderboard kind of stays in the same position that it's in. So you can do a lot of things to immediately get different. Play a couple guys up top, and then a bunch in this middle range in terms of the score, and then a bunch of guys, a couple guys that are going off super, super early. So in terms of the content, we'll have our cores up. We'll have our tier rankings over at SHIPITNation.com. The stone will be up. And then our projections, ownership, all that will get updated tonight. But we'll see how it all plays out here heading into tomorrow. Like I said, I have a couple sweats myself. Hopefully everyone else is doing quite well and, finishes the job for going in there to round 4. But yeah, we're gonna wrap this up. Make sure to get on over SHIPITNation.com, get in our Discord, check out our content. Make sure to hit the like, subscribe on the way out. Appreciate all your support throughout this process here, and make sure to get on over SHIPIT Nation. Look forward to seeing those SHIPIT Nation logos at the top of the leaderboard. Good luck in your contests.